Welcome to Astrobot. I'm Davey Moons. First off, I'd like to say that I like this game. I think it's a good game, but there is no way this should have won Game of the Year.
Are you serious?
To be honest, Astrobot is just a slightly better version of Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and I bet Doctor Strange himself couldn't find a universe where Sackboy won Game of the Year. My biggest knock on the game is that it isn't co-op. This is the exact type of game that should be designed for couch co-op. Even fucking Sackboy had that. In my opinion, Helldivers should have won Game of the Year, but there were other good games too. Regardless, Astrobot is a fun game that's very polished and incredibly easy to get into.
You got me.
If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. Now let me show you how I earned the platinum. Astrobot has 43 trophies to earn. 6 are directly from the story, 13 are from grabbing bots or puzzle pieces, and 24 are from miscellaneous stuff. This game has 24 bronze trophies, and a whopping 17 silver trophies, as well as 2 golds. The first 90% of this game is baby mode.
Listen, kid. I think you'd be more comfortable over at that place.
Weenie Hut Jr.
But the last 10% can be pretty hard. The only difficult trophy this game has is called the Golden Bot. To earn this, you'll have to complete the Great Master Challenge, a gauntlet of every obstacle in the game, and it will truly test your skill. Stick around to see how long it took me to beat.
Yeah. Stick around.
Now let's get started.
Alright, this game has 5 galaxies to play through. They each have 3 different collectible types: bots, puzzle pieces, and portals. Portals unlock new missions that show up in the Lost Galaxy here. There's also a central hub called the Crash Site. It gets that name because a silly alien shot down Astrobot's PS5 there. The main objective is to clear each galaxy, where at the end you recover a piece of the crashed PS5. The first mission of the game teaches you everything you really need to know: how to fight enemies, how to navigate and explore the levels, and I rescue the first bot to get a trophy. As well as pick up the first puzzle piece. As I mentioned, you need to collect all of these for the platinum. There are 300 bots across all missions, along with 116 puzzle pieces and 10 portals. That totals 426 collectibles. And that sounds fucking awful, but to be honest, it isn't nearly as bad as it seems.
You sure about that?
Collecting everything throughout each level isn't too bad, and it's kind of the main thing you do in the game. I did use a guide at times because I missed some things here and there, but for the most part, if you just look around, you'll be able to find most things. Once you complete all of the missions in a galaxy, you'll take on a boss fight. The game gives you multiple lives for these, as opposed to the usual one hit and you die. Each of these fights has to use a gadget to avoid attacks, or to deal damage to the boss. Well, you're supposed to avoid the attacks. They all have varying attacks and usually 2 phases. The monkey boss is first and gives some King Kong vibes, so it's fitting he dies by getting flung off a building. Next is the octopus boss. He's super easy, but I did have to wonder why he needs a snorkel mask. But he gets yeeted. Next is the snake boss, and this fight was the most annoying for me, specifically her second phase. You have to get up to her head while jumping over the balls she spits at you, and it can be hard to find time to move up, and I ended up getting comboed.
But you can't do this to me.
And had to restart. But when I did beat her, it seemed like she was kinda into it. Sorry, what the fuck? The chameleon boss is up next, and this one probably takes the most precision. You have the slow time gadget, and you use it to avoid fireballs, but also to get into his throat.
You what?
The final fight is against Big Bird. This one was easy, as you have the BB-8 ball gadget, and that makes you able to block his attacks, so staying alive to beat him was a breeze. After each of these fights, you'll get a different PlayStation game themed level, and these are awesome. Ape Escape is up first. And I know what Ape Escape is, but I've never played any of the games, so this mission didn't do much for me.
I mean, it's alright.
But after that, the next themed level was God of War. Mostly the two most recent games, but we got these snakes here, although I think they had less clothes on in God of War. These levels are cool because you get to use elements from the games they're referencing, like Kratos' axe in this case. There are also 8 of Odin's ravens to find in this mission as another Easter egg, and finding all of them earns a trophy. The next themed mission is based on Uncharted, and I think this one was my favorite. Mostly because you get to use a fucking gun. Came for the Astro bot, stay for the Astro Glock.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
There's a trophy in this mission for finding 3 eggs, which is an Easter egg in Astrobot referencing Uncharted, but the eggs being in Uncharted is an Easter egg referencing Jak and Daxter. So I think that would be classified as some sort of Easter egg inception? I honestly couldn't tell you the name of the next game referenced. It did look kind of familiar, but I'd never played it. This level is based on Loco Rocco, and it's really fun to move through, honestly. The last level is based on the Horizon games, and it just so happens I platinumed Horizon Zero Dawn before playing this. If you want to see me platinum that, I'll put a card in the top corner. This level gives you a bow to use, and there's a trophy for getting 7 kills with the Tripcaster, so I was expecting to get to use that as well. But instead they're just traps set up in the level, and you have to get the enemies to kill themselves on them. At the end of each of these levels, you recover a piece of the PS5 and return to the crash site. Here you fix the pieces up and put them into the PS5 to earn story trophies. Along with returning the parts to the crash site, the bots and puzzle pieces will also appear here. As you return puzzle pieces, you'll finish new buildings and get trophies for each. First is the Gotcha Lab. You can gamble away your coins for crash site accessories, aka bullshit,
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
or some good shit, like costumes. There's a trophy for gambling once, but for the real degenerates out there, there's another trophy for winning 150 prizes. The puzzles also unlock a way to change the controller's color, a place to change Astrobot's look, and a safari place. Inside the safari you get a camera, and using it for the first time gives you a trophy. I don't really know what the point of the camera is, but most importantly this place has fucking capybara bots. With all the bosses beat, a big red button appears at the crash site, and pushing this starts the last mission. This mission is really cool. It starts with a flying section that gives me Star Wars Trench Run vibes. And then you have a fight with the alien. And I love the mechanics of this fight. He spins a wheel of the different gadgets, and when you stop it determines what you get and how he attacks. This kind of impressed me. I thought it was really creative. Beating him completes the game. The devs pull a fake-out Astrobot death.
Oh no!
Thankfully, I was able to forcefully shake him back to health. After this, it was time to clean up all the galaxies. In addition to the main levels, there are X, Square, Circle, and Triangle challenges. These are the hardest levels in the galaxies. They're each different parkour challenges, and you have to make it from the start to the end in one shot. A few gave me trouble, like the one called To the Beat.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
Son of a bitch.
But others I was able to one-shot. Each of them give you one bot at the end, and you'll need all of these to reach 300. There are also Crumble and Rumble challenges in each galaxy. In the Crumble challenges, you have to defeat enemies by destroying the floor while avoiding falling yourself, and the Rumble challenges are just a couple waves of enemies. With all of these done, there are trophies for getting all of the bots in each galaxy. There are no challenges like these in the Lost Galaxy, but I did have a couple missions there to finish up to get that trophy. This game also has a few level-specific trophies. I got some of them while beating the game, like shooting a basket on this mission, but the trophy calls it a dunk, bruh, and for tugging on 2 worms at once. Trick your mom showed me. Also for spraying Papa Tree in the face. I feel like I don't need to add to that one. And for getting jackpots using slow-mo. I had to go back for a few as well, like catching a golden butterfly and jumping through this hoop. With those all done, the rest of the trophies can be gotten at the crash site. There are a few super easy trophies for doing things with the bots, like breaking a bot wall, knocking a bot out of a bot tower, and for dancing with 100 bots. There's a trophy for climbing to the top of the PS5, and for witnessing all the parts singing.
Besides that, the rest of the miscellaneous trophies are gotten by opening almost all of the gotcha prizes.
Opening 150 earns a trophy, and you need some of these prizes around the crash site so that you can do the following. Take a picture of Nathan Drake and Lara Croft, bait Kratos into freezing Thor, get run over by this ball thing, dance with Crash Bandicoot, punch a Yakuza member, and get in the middle of a street fight. With all of that done, all that's left is to unlock the golden statue. Now this leads to the final challenge in the game, and for the platinum. Your skill at the game will be put to the test, as you have to survive a gauntlet of basically every obstacle the game has. And this is pretty tough, but honestly, I thought it would take me a lot longer.
So it begins.
I was expecting to have to make a death montage and set a timer to see how long it would take me, and I thought it would take me at least an hour based off what I was hearing about this. After a few tries, I did watch someone else complete it to see how long the course was.
You weren't supposed to do that.
So granted, this did show me what the obstacles were, but honestly the beginning of this whole thing is what gave me the most trouble.
Good job.
I died during the first like 20 seconds more than anything else. In total, I died 21 times, and it took me 15 minutes and 18 seconds to complete.
And you are?
I'm the guy.
Which was a relief. I thought this was going to be a bigger pain in the ass. And once I made it to the last section on a run, I got through that part on the first try.
My God! Okay, it's happening!
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Beating this gives me the last trophy, and that is the Astro Platinum done. This is definitely a fun game and a good platformer, Let me know what your favorite part of this game was, and do you think this should have won Game of the Year? Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Is that it? I think so.